Hi guys, Mofo here, back with some more awesome Robocraft fun. And yes, this is part 2 of realizing the vision, feedback and gameplay. Now, I really do hope I'm managing to fit some gameplay into these videos. I didn't even think this would take more than a few parts. But obviously, we've got quite a few chapters of this to get through, and I'm only part way through chapter 2. Now, there'll be a link in the description to all of the chapters on the Robocraft forum, and the previous video in the playlist is covering part 1. I'll also put a link to that, just in case you guys missed that. I might even throw up a little thing saying, yeah, go and check out this bit. Go on, click on it, go and look at this. If you haven't watched it already, it'll make far more sense if you go and watch that video first. Okay, so we were looking at this befuddling percentage of players thing, and we've done I can build a good combat robot in Robocraft. Apparently these cannot enjoy Robocraft. What? Explain how this works. None of this makes sense to me, especially the part about the detailed stylish creation being Abraham Lincoln. What? Okay, and then at the bottom of the chart it's got I can build a Cluely ball and T-stick. So, what? Is it anyone above I can build a good combat robot in Robocraft can't enjoy Robocraft? I'm not sure that's true. Really not sure that's true. But who knows? I build hella stylish fun things. I could build a Cluely ball if I wanted to. I could build a T-stick if I wanted to. That doesn't appeal to me. I'm too busy trying to make plasma bombers that look like actual planes and trying to come up with ways to make stylish but effective combat bots most of the time. Occasionally I troll a bit with some fun bots, for Halloween. I got a load of skulls and a Halloween pumpkin. Who knows what I might do for some other kind of fun and kicks. Who knows? But let's see what they've got to say on this. And yeah, I'll probably throw up some gameplay so you don't have to just look at all of the text I'm waffling on about. I'll just read all of this out. You can watch this. Watch my shooting stuff. Am I? Who knows? I'll pop back in and out to show you charts and stuff. Apparently they've gone nuts for charts. Okay, so this is back to what it's saying on the forum. And this is Realizing the Vision Chapter 2, just after the bizarre thing I cannot understand about Abraham Lincoln. Okay, building a good robot in Robocraft is hard, mainly because you have to learn a lot of game mechanics that are exclusive to Robocraft, such as damage propagation, and until you have learned them, you will probably build robots that aren't so good. Okay, well, that's a little bit weird. You have to building a good robot in Robocraft is hard, mainly because you have to learn a lot of game mechanics that are exclusive to Robocraft, such as damage propagation, and until you have learned them, you will probably build robots that aren't so good. It's not that difficult. If your bot suffers from having stuff shut off, like movement parts, add more movement parts. This kind of thing is where just a few simple tutorials would really help. And of course, I believe Avak had recorded some video tutorials, and they were part of the game for a short while. Trouble that happened was they changed what the game was, and so those tutorials didn't make sense, so they had to take them out. And this is one of my main gripes with the game, in all honesty. Much though I love the new content, a lot of the time they introduce things that mess with the mechanics of the game or how the game fundamentally plays out. And I really don't like it. Like, if you remember when Battle Arena first came out, I was up in arms about that. I was so upset that they destroyed Classic by having OC in there, and it being at the lowest level of OC. The frequency of changes to the game that change the game fundamentally is one of the things that annoys me the most about Robocraft. And I love the game. I'm still playing it. Still play every day that I can get a chance to play a game. I'll go on Robocraft for a bit. If there are days when I don't play Robocraft, I'm probably not playing any other game. If I'm playing Robocraft a lot, I might allow myself to play something else. You know what I mean? I really do love Robocraft, but they tinker with it too much. They tinker with it too much and mess around with things too fast, in my opinion. There are very few and far between periods of stability for Robocraft, and I think that turns a lot of people off. It means a lot of people who are attracted to the game from having watching videos and stuff on YouTube come to a game that is fundamentally different, and it means people that have just settled into something then have that rug pulled from under their feet. And of course, this might not be affecting new users so much, apart from in the first case I mentioned, but it messes with your core base, and it causes upset, and it causes stuff on the forums, and of course that doesn't look good when people come and check out the forums. Anywho, let's get on with this. Skill in fighting games can also vary widely, especially as Robocraft attracts users of many different age groups. What? Do people have to be different ages to have different skills? I don't think so. To enjoy Robocraft, you have to be pretty good at building and fighting. Yeah, you've said. I don't think so much. I don't think so much. I think you can have. Again, it's saying to enjoy. It's not saying to be great at Robocraft. It's saying to enjoy Robocraft. I don't think you have to be good at building and fighting. I think you just have to enjoy stuff. You know? I think that's the problem with a lot of. Oh no, there's possibly it's the people playing the games that can't enjoy themselves. They need to be the best. Otherwise, it's not fun. That's rubbish. Okay, so it's hardly surprising that the percentage of users who play a game after a day or 1 week is low. As in order to enjoy the game, you must like building and fighting and must be good at both building and fighting, or you must like the idea of building and fighting so much that you're willing to have a terrible time for ages until you get good at those things. This is the problem. Why do you have to have a terrible time for ages? Why not have some decent tutorials? Why not have a more intuitive explanation of how things work in the game? I could probably sit down and come up with a good set of things. I mean, I remember I started building a small series for a beginner thing. I kind of gave up on it. Do you know why I gave up on it? Because those bots didn't exist. They've changed the game so much that if I was doing beginner tutorials, I'd have to restart the series and I'd have to recreate about 4 or 5 different accounts to start from scratch with what you get at the beginning and then work up to explain stuff, and by the time I'd made those videos, the chances were they'd have changed it again. Again, back to the problem that they change things in the game far too fast, without periods to settle, and to allow the potential growth to take place. I think it's an illusion and a fallacy that it takes ages to learn stuff. I don't know, I watched a couple of videos on it, and then I figured stuff out for myself. Make that more accessible, make that easier for people to find in-game that are having difficulties. For Robocraft to succeed, it must do the following things. Allow players with all skill levels of building to enjoy and get engaged in Robocraft. That's pretty easy to achieve. Allow players with all skill levels of fighting to enjoy Robocraft. Aha! That's gonna happen. That happens. People fight. They enjoy it. That's what they're doing. They're enjoying fighting. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. Or they've got issues. Offer ways to help low-skilled fighters to enjoy Robocraft, like co-op PvE, tutorials, etc. Yeah, nailed it on the head there with the tutorials, etc. Don't have to have the co-op PvE. Some tutorials would help. Maybe PvE as part of the tutorials. Who knows? But just focus on some tutorials. I'll do it. I'd volunteer for that stuff, you know. But you guys apparently spoke to Avak. You need to get Avak back making videos and helping more people understand what you need to do. But to do that, you need to settle down a bit and you need to sort out what it is that the game is. Leave it for a while so the tutorials remain relevant. Okay, offer activities for playing Robocraft beyond just fighting, so those that don't like fighting that much can still have fun. Racing the hub. Brilliant, brilliant, but I believe part of your problem at the moment is that the more game modes you have, the less server kind of stuff you have, longer wait times, blah 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 blah. So, really, at this point, introducing more game modes, is that really the answer? I'm not so sure. Um, why not just have better kind of practice grounds? Why not have stuff like um, uh, the hub would be fairly easy to implement. Because you're not queuing for a battle or anything. So yeah, just stick the hub in there. Why isn't the hub there? The hub should be there. Obviously, the hub should have been there a week after you announced that the hub was coming. Why didn't that happen? How long ago was the hub mentioned? That should have just been thrown out. It could have been awful. It could have been as awful as the practice ground is, and always has been. And people who wanted to just make Abraham Lincoln the higher echelons of detailed, stylish creations could just be in there showing off their amazing bots. Racing, racing could easily be the first part of the tutorial. Build a balanced bot that can get round in a certain speed and deal with certain types of terrain. Have that built into the stuff, you know? Um, let's see. Offer rewards and kudos for those that like to focus predominantly on building. Yeah, yeah. I think you guys should have more competitions and community events. I remember taking some time to build uh, a video in After Effects and with gameplay and stuff. And the next competition that was similar didn't come out for well over a year and was for a 10-second clip to fit in with an app. Monthly competitions. Monthly competitions with videos submitted. Um, Players submit their own videos, and you can have different categories. You can have combat categories, best fighters in whichever game modes, and best looking bots. Look, Tiberian Mushroom, who was kind enough to be in one or two of my HalloFest special videos. Um, he held, I think it was my first, it was the first year I was playing the game. He held his own Halloween competition unofficial video. You guys should have got behind him. You guys at FreeJam should have got behind him, given him a load of promo codes or something to give out, or helped him with the judging, or helped him with promoting the competition. And you should be doing creative stuff. Star Wars is coming out. For flippity gibbet's sake, Star Wars is coming out. Did we have a competition by FreeJam to get the keywords Star Wars and Robocraft into a sentence? That would be massive. Never mind. Let's have a look at that. So what did we do? Yes, kudos. Offer long-term progression, subtle depth, competitive gameplay to retain the users for long term. Yeah, well, you've got that already. What you've got there is getting better at combat and learning tactics. Again, video tutorials would help with that. I'm more than happy to help. You've already had Avak said he'd do videos for you. Why not get them done? Why not get those done? The long-term progression in this game for me is getting better and better at building excellent bots that work well and look good, you know? And now I know if I want to build a skull, I can build a skull. Hell, I can make that skull fly, and I can make that skull hold its own on the battlefield when push comes to shove. Okay, it's not going to take on something that is purely built for function, but it looks hella sweet, and it can hold its own against shoddy builds and people whose gameplay isn't that good. So yeah, that's a lot of progression. When I first started playing, I had trouble getting all kinds of stuff to work. It just needs to have a little bit of practice, and I'm of the mentality that if I don't know how to do something, I use Google. and look on websites or watch videos. Now, okay, there may be people that in this day and age, it's beyond me, but there may be people there that don't think, oh, I know, I'll go and look up how to do this. We'll maybe have something in game that says, if you want to find out about this, if you want to find out about this, look at those things. You know, there is a page somewhere on here, and I always wanted to get on it, and it's a page of all the kind of contributors and YouTubers. I'll possibly throw that up at some point. More should be made of that. A lot of people like myself contribute a lot to the promotion of the game, and there should be more kind of stuff going on there. I mean, I spoke to Drognin a couple of times, but he's a very busy guy. He's quite hard to get hold of. It can be, I believe Avak has a lot more kind of conversations with the dev team, more than just Drognin. I think he talks to Mark and maybe some of the others as well. But these guys are very busy. Maybe get somebody in a PR role. I'll do it. I'll do it. If I can do it by telecommuting, I'd put my hands up for that. I'll do that job. Be a go-between between YouTubers and other people who promote the game, and try and work on some of the tutorials and some stuff. Push the game out there. Make it a lot better, and to work on the tutorials. Because you guys play. I'm talking here to FreeJam, of course. Those guys play the game, but they play the game in their world. A lot of the time, they're playing just in the studio on a kind of private server, and well, playing in isolation like that makes your experience very different. And now I'm aware that Drognin does play in game. And he's actually said to me, at some point he'll come and do a thing with me where I get to chat with him, we go out and play. We should have done that ages ago. Then I'd get to see, what does he build? What does he play like? How is his experience of the game different to mine? You know? And I think that would give them a lot more kind of feedback. Okay, let's have a look at this, and I may have to interrupt gameplay to show you this little chart here. We need to do this. We've got Robocraft here, overlapping with builders and fighters, and Robocraft's pushing out arrows at both of them. Oh, again, amazing charts, FreeJam. Well done, well done. Not sure I understand the relevance of this. Somebody please explain the relevance of this. I suppose what they're saying is they need to cater more widely for people who are fighters and people who are builders. I think the game already does an excellent job of that. Just need to stop messing with it quite so much. Often when FreeJam makes big changes to the game, players say, you broke Robocraft. I don't think I've said he broke it. I think I've said, you fiends, what have you done? But the truth is that Robocraft has been broken since the day it launched. That is a stupid statement right there. When I started playing, which was what, 2014, I think around about June or July, the game was excellent, and that year it won Indie Game of the Year. I believe it's actually been nominated for some stuff this year as well, although I've yet to hear any more on that, and it hasn't been promoted quite as much. I think there's just some banner stuff on the front page. But what they're saying is the game was broken. Until we have greater than 40% of players playing after day 1, and 20% playing after day 7, and 10% after day 30, then Robocraft can never really be regarded as fixed. Right, well that's not true. That what you're doing there is you're thinking about it as a viable product as opposed to a game. The game was great. The game was great when I played it. When I first played it. If you hadn't changed the game at all, I'd still be playing it. It'd still be an awesome game. adding things to it, new movement parts and such, quite good. Some of it kind of breaks it a little bit, but to say it was broken day one. Now, I wasn't here for day one, so I can't really speculate. But certainly by last year, it was a fantastic game, and I really enjoyed it. To say that it's been broken since it was launched, I think is possibly just looking at it wrong. It's looking at it from it has to sell units to be any good. And then chasing ways of selling those units. And, everybody knows that thing of new and improved. When the new and improved comes along and happens to a product that you like, it destroys it. Does it really build that much of a new audience? Do those people stick around? Maybe the game is great, but it's not as popular as other games. As I said, maybe they need to switch it to a paid for or subscription based model. Instead of trying to make it a free game, make it somewhere between £12 and £20, and there you go. That could solve the problem right there, I suspect. I don't know. I don't know much about the game industry on the sales kind of side to speculate on that. But I don't like this stuff, and it's a bit weird. There we go. What are they saying? FreeJam has always been too scared to change the core, but now we've realised that unless we change the very core of Robocraft, we will never really fix Robocraft. That sounds like, and I don't like to swear on this channel, but that's almost making me swear. I think that is a huge amount of manure, and it's coming from. Was that coming from the account department? Really? Because the game was awesome. The game, yeah, it's still awesome. But now you need to change the core of it to fix it. Okay. That scares the behemoths out of me. That's a really scary prospect. That you're going to take a game I've been with for about, over a year? Probably about 6 months, and I'll have been playing this for 2 years. Probably spent, gosh, I think I stopped counting after I spent about £200 on this game. But probably I might have spent as much as £300 on this game. Certainly the most I've ever put into any kind of game. Really is, unless you include something like the subscription on World of Warcraft over many years, you know. Certainly never ever invested as much time and as much money into something that I thoroughly enjoy on practically a daily basis as I have done with Robocraft. And to tell me that it's been broken since day one and that they need to change the core of it to fix it, that worries me something terrible. But unfortunately, we've only just got through chapter 2, and I'm going to have to leave it here. Gosh, I wonder, this could get to as many as 7 parts to cover this. And I'm going to throw all of this in the gameplay feedback section. So I'd love to hear your feedback on this too. I hope I've managed to put enough kind of little snippets of gameplay in here so you're not just staring at walls of text for this whole thing. And of course, if you do like the videos, of course, now is the time to like and comment. Please tell me what you think about this. I need to know what you guys think, seriously. And as well in the forums, I really want to hear from the developers. And yeah, give me a job. I'll help. I'd do anything to help this game. I really would. I want this game to go on for a long time. And I want the developers to be happy with it. I also want them to have the kind of funds that they need to make things work. And of course I want the player base to grow. I just hope they don't kill the golden goose or whatever it is, you know, just for a few shiny eggs. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.